Yo, what up, y'all? You know what it is. Coach Lynch here, man. Long day today. We actually about to film the podcast, in-game podcast, and just came from Page High School with the AOL Outreach Mentor Program, Team Voyage. Every week we're going to Page High School with this mentor program, and we're actually giving these young men a chance to develop their own business. These young men are all going to have a business, a real business, LLC, and all that. They'll be selling their products, their services before they even leave out of our program. Is super dope. So we're connecting them with the people that they need so that their business can continue to succeed. We're not just going to start something and leave it here. They're actually going to make this business go, y'all. And we have all the connections, all the resources, and the right network. And we actually brought in one of our marketing specialists, geniuses, and one of the dope top entrepreneurs in Max Maxwell to give them some game today, y'all. If I had this type of program and these type of people in my life when I was growing up, I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't have took a major detour to get to where I am now. I need you to like, subscribe, and share. You hear me? And do me a favor, watch it all the way to the end. We'll holler at you on the next one. Peace. The man that I'm about to introduce to you, right? Check it out. Not only is he a professional in his field, right? A top professional in his field, but he's one of the top professionals in his field across the entire country. You hear me? But just 7 years ago, he was trying to figure out how to reinvent himself. He was trying to start all over again. Now he's known all across the world for what he do. Now I want all you to ask the question before he comes up here. Do you do what you do well enough, good enough, and dope enough to be known for it? If you want to be like that, I need all your eyes, all your ears, and all of your attention on Max Maxwell. Give it up for Max Maxwell.
Great evening, great evening. Y'all good? Y'all great? All right, that's what's up. So like Coach said, my name is Max Maxwell. Y'all probably haven't heard of me. You shouldn't have. I'm from Winston-Salem. Grew up there, went to school there. You know, what grade y'all in, by the way? Seniors?
Not everybody.
So, you know, all right, let me give you a little bit of backstory before I'm supposed to talk about marketing, right?
No, whatever you want to talk about.
All right, cool.
We get to it. They got time.
So, I'll give you a little backstory. So, my parents came to Jamaica, from Jamaica to America in the 80s, early 80s, right? And so I'm a first generation American. New York, moved down here in 93 when I was a little kid. Went to elementary school, high school, middle school, all that stuff here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, not too far from here. It wasn't until high school that I figured out why I was such a bad student, right? Not bad like I was bad to the teachers. My grades were terrible. When I was in high school, I was diagnosed, I was dyslexic. You guys know what dyslexic is, right? I see and read numbers backwards all the time, right? It's a habit. When I'm writing, it's terrible. When I speak, sometimes it's terrible. So when I was in high school, I was a great athlete. I was this tall in high school. 185 pounds, wide receiver, all conference. Every time the report cards came out, guess what I had to go do? Sit down, because I had less than a 2.0 GPA, right? So I only could play like for a little bit of the season every year. So school wasn't my thing. I know I wasn't going to college. So at 17, when I graduated, I went to the military. It's my only option, Air Force, right? Went to the Air Force, did some cool stuff, decided it wasn't for me. I was like, this is not for me. I was too much wanting to be an entrepreneur. So I got out and I did a bunch of things. I got my real estate license when I was young, had my own firm at 21 years old. 2008 happened. I don't think y'all were even born until 2008. Yeah? Maybe, I don't know. Whatever. All right, y'all were born? All right, cool. So 2008 happened, recession, I lost everything. I didn't have anything. I was spending money like I was a rapper. Lost everything. So it just goes back, and here I am. I'm doing random things. I do this. I've always been a hustler, being able to make money. At 30 years old, you're supposed to have life figured out. At least that's what they tell you as an adult. By 30 years old, you got to have everything figured out. At 30, I lost everything again. Had to move back home with my mother at 30 years old. Remember, I've been gone since I was 17, come back at 30. This is crazy. And so I was so down and depressed, I didn't know what to do. I locked myself in my room for days and out. Didn't even take showers. Like literally was just so depressed because you go from a high to such a low, you're moving back home. And this is when I said, you know what, I want to be a real estate investor. But the one thing I didn't have was money. But two of the things I did have was time and hustle. So I figured out how to get into real estate again. No money. Got my first property, made $14,000. Boom, I thought I was a millionaire. Felt like it. I needed it, right? The next 12 months, I made $880,000. I was like, all right, good. I'm in there. I'm back in the game. Since then, I'm on my 7th year now. Since then, I've made over $40 million, right? And so in the last 7 years, so you just got to have that grind and that hustle to get where you are. January, I opened up 2 businesses. Those businesses are on track to do $1 million a month. Right? In 2020, I bought my first airplane. I'm a pilot, so I fly myself. Just a few months ago, I bought my second airplane. And all I'm telling you is I'm just like you. I'm dyslexic, firstborn. Nothing special about me other than I got this hustle. None of my circumstances around me was going to determine who I turned out to be. Period. I seen greatness in a flash and I wanted to get there quick. But I know that the only thing that had to change was me. Nothing around me I can control. I only can control myself. So when I realized that I had to do things that I've never done to be able to get things I've never had, that's when my life changed. So at 30, when I figured life out, I cut sports off. I didn't watch any football. I used to watch Thursday football. I used to watch Sunday morning. They had Saturday games. I used to do DraftKings. I used to do all that stuff. My whole life was consumed by football. When I added up, I was spending like 16 hours a week watching football. Do you know what you can do with 16 hours of learning, of filling your brain, trying new things? And those things is what got me to where I am. And so all I'm telling you is you just gotta you wanna be different. We talk about on the podcast all the time that corny works. Being corny, the things that they make fun of for people in school for doing is the things that actually make you who you wanna be when you get older. The corny stuff. How many of y'all write in a journal every day? Nobody. It's corny, right? You're supposed to do it, right? How many of you guys write down your goals at the end of the year and the beginning of the year and then check in on them every 6 months, right? Now you do, right? Coach said now you do, but the reality is you don't do it because it's corny. How many times, every time your friends call you to go out, you go out? Of course you go out. Because if you don't, you corny. Corny is what makes you rich. Right now on social media, I got like 3 million followers all over social media, right? I think I don't know what it is, but just know things are good. And all I'm telling you, there's nothing special about me. And here's the secret. All the other people that I hang out with, I know billionaires. I know people worth hundreds of millions. There's nothing special about them either. Matter of fact, they're the most laziest people I ever met. But Coach Lynch likes to call it proactively lazy. Yes. Why am I proactively lazy? Because if I know I got to do something, I'd rather find a way for it to get done for me. That's it. So my mother-in-law, I'll give you an example. Lynch just came to my house a little while ago. I have a barbershop in my house because I don't go to the barbershop anymore. So the barber came over, Lynch came down. My mother-in-law just dropped a cookbook. Well, she's 60 years old, 62 years old. She don't want to sign all these books. We sold 400 books in one day. So I bought a machine that signs them for her, writes the parents. Listen, how you do? I said, I'm lazy. He said, you were proactively lazy. Right? So something that cost me $200 saved us so much time because time is that number one resource you can never get back. That's why I bought a plane. Because if I need to have a meeting in Atlanta and I still want to come back home and be with my wife for dinner, then I can do that. I can jump on a plane, go to Atlanta and come back. Matter of fact, I don't have to call a pilot. I fly myself. So this is what I'm saying, and this is all possible. I love flying so much. I said, you know what? I'm gonna open up a flight school. So now I got a flight school. I love planes so much. I said, when I was in South Africa, I said, man, I want to do the same thing. I went home. I opened up an airplane manufacturing company. You can do all these things if you get out and see things. And all you gotta understand is there's nothing special about the person at the top. I know y'all people know, you know Elon Musk, right? He's not as smart as they say he is. Don't believe the hype. He just works extremely hard. He's like Lynch, 238, he's up. For every day you have, he's getting 2. So you can't outwork him. You only have 24 hours. He got 48 hours in a day. Because the way he uses 24, you'll never use him like that. And so that's what I'm here to tell you guys, that I'm nothing special. Sometimes I have to wake up and pinch myself. I have to wake up and pinch myself. It just doesn't make sense. I'm 38 years old. I know you guys probably think I'm old, because I don't know what. It's cool. I was there before. But I promise you, when you grow older, you're going to realize how fast. I feel like I was in high school yesterday. I really do. And it's been 21 years. Right? I've been out of high school longer than y'all been alive, and I feel like it was yesterday. So time moves fast. But here's one thing you can't get back, is the time you're wasting today. I know you think the time you have in high school is to have fun and be insignificant and do things that, oh, don't worry about it, I'll do it tomorrow. No, the time you have now is what determines the rest of your life. I promise you. I know y'all probably can't wait to get older and go to the club and do all these things, right? Some of y'all probably sneaking in now. But I promise you, being in the middle of an ocean in your own yacht is a lot better than being in a club with no money trying to get some drinks. It's way better. So all I'm telling you is, no matter what background you come from, no matter what situation you are in, it's up to you to change that. You only can control what you can control, and that's yourself. And you got to be willing to do things that you've never done before, or that people that are not willing to do to get things you've never seen before, things that people don't have. And it's that simple. It's the reason why the 1% is the 1%. They do the things that the other 99% won't do. And it's usually corny. So
I got a question.
Yeah.
So can you just talk a little bit about like that? What inspired you to just kind of just turn the camera on and get going?
So my first YouTube video was me sitting in the car, basically going to record a video for my friends on Facebook to hold myself accountable. But then I also decided to put it on YouTube. And all I was doing was making a public statement of me being accountable of what I was saying I was going to do. Because guess what? We always say we're going to do something, but we always say what? I'll do it tomorrow. But if I tell 10 people that I'm going to do something, they might come and say, yo, did you work out this morning? Nah, I didn't work out this morning. Right? 10 people going to ask you, say, well, you need to get to the gym tomorrow. If you got the right friends, they're going to do it. So when I did that, I started documenting. And what I realized is that the same struggles and the same things I was showing people that I was going through, everybody else was going through the same things. And so as I was going through these things, even if you're one step behind me, you know to just avoid that landmine and keep moving. So I was making the video for other people. And then people started asking me questions. So now I started solving people's problems. And that turned into what? When you start solving people's problems, that's a what? That's a business. That's all a business is. A business solves problems. How many of you guys watch YouTube? Who owns YouTube? You guys don't know who uses? Huh? Google owns YouTube. You guys didn't know that, right? Do you guys ever search things online? What do you usually go to? Right? So Google owns the two biggest search platforms in the world, Google and YouTube. And so how does Google and YouTube make their money? Advertisement, right? So where do you see that? You see the ads where? At the top of the search page. And where else? Inside the videos, right? So as a YouTuber, right, they pay me, I think 40 to 50%, was it 50% of the revenue, right? So 50% of the ads that somebody spends, I get 50%, or I get 50% of the ad spend that somebody spends. So what happens is learning how to put those ads out is like literally, let me be real with you. There's people that sit at home, they take the free Google, because Google has a free course. It's a free course online that there's no age restrictions. You can go take it right now on how to run ads on Google. And a lot of these business owners, they're dinosaurs. They're older than me, right? And so they don't even know how to use it. So you think about where's the last place you guys bought something? Amazon. Amazon's a huge business. Where's the last time you bought something locally? Where at? PetSmart's one. That's a national brand. You ever bought something locally from a small business? Yeah. The point is most of the small businesses have no online presence. And so simply being able to offer them the ability to run their ads, to do things. How many of you guys use TikTok? Right? How many of you guys use Instagram? So in between, about every 3 scrolls, you get what? You ever bought something from an ad or wanted something from an ad? Always wanted something from an ad. You ever bought something from an ad? Raise your hand. Okay. Like, oh, this is cool. I do it all the time. I'm guilty. Amazon's at my house every day. So the point is those ads are in there. You look at them as a consumer. I look at them as a producer. You got a question?
So you know how small businesses use TikTok to promote their businesses.
Some do.
Yeah, some do. What do you believe is like the best way to advertise your business?
Depends what the product is and the service is, right? And so so anytime you have let's go down to some nuts and bolts. Anytime you have a product, a service or business, you have to create what they call an avatar. You guys know what an avatar is? Right? Not the movie. Oh, you guys know Avatar was like something like, no, not an online avatar, not that. Not an online avatar, not something where you got to draw a character. But essentially you want to draw out your perfect customer, right? So somebody give me a business idea real quick. Are we talking about one of these? Landscaping, right? Let's just talk about landscaping business. So let's paint the perfect picture of who our customer is in the landscaping business. All right, you guys ready? So give me some things about the person who's your perfect customer.
Property owner.
Well, they got to be a property owner, right? So that's good. I said elderly. Why would they need to be elderly? They don't want to cut their grass. Okay, that's one. They don't have the equipment.
They don't have the time.
They don't have the time, right? So we've identified 4 things from somebody. They got to own a home. They got to be elderly, not have to be, but elderly. They either got to not have the equipment and or not have the time, right? So now you're starting to draw down on who you're going to advertise to. So who owns homes? Right? So do you know there's a part of town that's maybe more rental than there are homeowners, right? So you probably want to advertise to this side, right? And so how do you do that? So do you think that the people who own homes, do you think they're on TikTok? Not as much. Where do you think they are? Maybe on Facebook, because Facebook's for dinosaurs now, right? I know y'all say it's cool. Facebook's for dinosaurs now. So I don't want to take my lawn care company and market it to you guys in high school, right? Because you're mainly on TikTok, right? So I don't want to put my lawn care company on TikTok. So I would do something like Facebook, right? So as every business you have, you start to find out who's your ideal customer. That's what the avatar is, the ideal customer. You want to break that down, and you usually want to develop 3 profiles. That's what I do, right? So you have somebody that doesn't have the time, has more money than they have time, they own a home, great. Then you have somebody who is elderly, they're on a fixed budget, right? They own a home and they don't have the equipment. So I'm starting to draw out who these people are so that I can go market to them, right? So let's see, where are we at now?
I want to touch on this real quick because I was just over there with Jada, right? And I had Jada pull up your profile on Instagram.
Yeah.
And first thing he noticed is that you have a blue check, and he has a blue check on every platform. So not only is he a real estate professional and one of the top in his field, but he's also an influencer. He's become an influencer because of the marketing skills that he actually has now, and he's able to take himself from nobody knowing him and just a few of his friends to over 3 million followers across a few platforms. So we talked about how influencers, how a lot of times we have to, small businesses, we have to get with people who have the influence to go direct to the consumers because most of them have a fan base. I just want you to talk a little bit about this before you go, because we got about 4 minutes.
Yeah, so let's talk about the word influence. So influence has always changed, right? At first it was the newspaper. Newspapers had the influence, right? And then it changed to radio. Radio had the influence. So that's where people market. So wherever attention is, that's where influence is. So whoever has the attention is the one who is the influencer, okay? And so then it moved to TV. So do you guys remember the time when athletes used to be more influential than Jake Paul, right? You like, if you seen an athlete running here, you'd be like, oh my God, back in the days, right? If I seen Deion, I'd start doing the Deion, the step, all that stuff back in the day. Y'all know Deion as a coach. I know Deion as a player. But if y'all saw Jake Paul running here, Jake Paul and Dion running here at the same time, everybody running Jake Paul or whoever, right? KSI, you name whatever the people are, right? So now the influence has moved to whoever has the attention. So whoever has the attention is the influencer. It used to be news media, it used to be ads, people used to have a lot of time on TV. And then what happened? It got taken away by things like Netflix and so on and so forth. So I knew that I had to have the attention. My attention has allowed me to launch businesses without having to spend a whole lot of money. So being an influencer is just a business. My wife is an influencer. She makes probably between $40,000 and $80,000 a month being an influencer. Right? And so all she's doing is companies are paying her to mention their products in her vlogs, in her short reels, in her TikToks, all that stuff like that. And so that's what I'm saying. So the attention is who you consider an influencer. I could dive more deep in it, but obviously I'll keep coming back over time, but you got to understand a couple things. For any business you have, the key points, for any business you have, you want to create an avatar, 3 avatars as your perfect customer. And these are the people who you're going to go after in marketing, right? Because you got on Yeezys. I'm not going to go sell you some flat, you know what flat bottoms is? You only know what them are, right? So I'm not going to go advertise church shoes on your TikTok feed. It don't make sense. So you need to find out who your customers are so you can market to those people.
Can you call it like a target market?
It is target marketing, right? Because you're going to have a set budget of who you're going to spend the money with or who you're going to spend the money on. Right? I'm not going to come here and try to sell cars at a high school, right? That don't make sense. I might go to your mom and dad's workplace. That makes more sense. I'm not going to try to sell you a lawnmower if you don't own a house. It don't make sense, does it? If you live in an apartment, you don't need your grass cut, right? So we're not going to send mailers. We're not going to call people that live in apartments. They don't have grass. So find the avatar. Today's lesson is create the avatar. 3 avatars for every business you have of who the ideal customer is. Huh? Yeah, and you got to give them a name because then you're going to create what we call a customer journey next.
Dope. Give it up for Matt, y'all. Give it up.